Everybody, we're back, and so is the NBA playoffs, and Alex is going to tell you why it's important to be paying attention and watching this. Alex, tell us why.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the NBA a whole bunch on this podcast yet, and now that the playoffs are in full swing, we're out of the seeding games, we're out of that crazy Blazers-Grizzlies game to figure out who would be the 8th seed. I thought it would be time to talk a little NBA basketball down there in Orlando, Florida. So we're going to start with the West, and we're going to kind of go all over the place, so stick with us here. So I'm going to start with James. We're going to go – so we have the number 4 seed Rockets versus the number 5 seed Thunder. So just some little talking points here. James Harden and Russell Westbrook against Chris Paul. Westbrook and Chris Paul were traded for each other. The series is right now 1-0 Houston. It was a 123-108 final. Harden with 37, CP3 20, 10, and 9. James, what do you think about this series so far?
So far, I think this is a great series. Overall, I have the Thunder in 6 for this one. Like you said, there's a lot of emotions in the series just because of the weirdness of, CP3 and Russell Westbrook. But overall, I think it's going to be a great series to watch. Today, watching today's game, I was reminded about how much I hate James Harden's style of play. That guy is a bitch, and I hate watching it. Big time.
Here.
Not a fan at all. And I really wanted the Thunder to win, but it was just like it was tough for them to win when CP3 wasn't hitting until the fourth quarter and Dennis Schroeder went 3 for 12. Overall, though, it's tough to win without a big in this league. And, the Rockets don't have one. They traded away Clint Capella halfway through the year. And how are you going to guard Steven Adams and Danilo Gallinari? They couldn't. That's why Danilo Gallinari went off for 29 points. It's going to be an interesting series to watch, but I have the Thunder in 6.
Okay. Yeah, Russell Westbrook did miss this game too. He's got a quad injury. According to Mike D'Antoni, #fuck that guy. He sorry, as a Lakers fan, fuck Mike D'Antoni. He should be back maybe in this series. They're not giving a ton of info. Another interesting point, the Thunder at the beginning of the season had a 0.02% to make the playoffs. You got to love Chris Paul for that. This is probably one of the most interesting opening series of the NBA playoffs so far. Moving on to another super interesting one. We've got the number 2 Los Angeles Clippers versus the number 7 Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers did win this one. The first game in the series, 118-110. Kawhi went for 29 points and 12 rebounds. Luka Doncic went for 42 points. I personally think Luka is like the tipping point of this series. He may be the best player in this series, even with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the floor. Kawhi and Paul George are maybe overall very deep players, but Luka runs that Mavs team like no other team we've ever seen before. They had the best offensive team in the history of basketball this season. Kristaps Porzingis did get ejected with 2 techs in this game. There was a lot of talk throughout the NBA bubble that it was some bullshit. Eric, perfect timing. You're throwing up that T signal. This is your series. Clips, Mavs, what do you think?
I got Clips in 5 games. I do agree, though, with you. Luka Doncic is a tough task to contain. The duo with him and Porzingis, a.k.a. they call him the unicorn, but that European dynamic duo does provide a lot of points and depth to the Mavs, and it kind of creates trouble for other teams. The Mavs were pretty close in that game the whole time yesterday, even with – I will say that was a bullshit call for Porzingis getting ejected. He shouldn't have got ejected. Even they interviewed Doc at halftime. He said, "I hate to see that. That's not what this game's about." So that kind of screwed them last night. But they're going to be tough games. They're going to be close. However, the Clips do got a guy who goes by the nickname KL2, a.k.a. Kawhi. The guy just gets the job done, as we've seen in the past. PG is another solid player with him. He's going to give you a lot of points. I think he has a little something to prove. He hasn't gotten – I guess he's gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals, but, he wants to go deep. He wants to prove himself. And then one other thing that just really helps the Clippers is 2 guys, Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell, They're the highest scoring bench duo in NBA history. Trez just got back to the bubble, so it's going to take a little time for him to get it going, but those guys can be dangerous as well. I got Clips in 5.
Yeah,
Alex,
dude, the
don't
Clips.
you hate Lou Will?
What?
Doesn't Alex hate
I
Lou
don't
Will?
hate Lou Will. I think the strip club chicken wing saga or whatever you want to fucking call it was a mistake. And if I was a teammate of Lou Will, I'd be pissed. But you can't deny the dude can ball. I've never seen someone hit like one-footed three-pointers off of a foul like Lou Will. You got to give him some love for sure. That's a really good point about Lou Will. And we didn't even mention Pat Bev. He's one of the top defenders in the league. Kawhi and PG are great wing defenders. They've got a lot of dudes that they can throw at Doncic, which is, I do agree with you, Eric. I do think the Clips come out of this series, but I think it might go 7. I think Luka Doncic is a budding star in the making. He could be the face of the NBA within the next couple of years for sure. Going to another young player who just dropped fucking points in game 1. Donovan Mitchell dropped 57 in that first game between the Nuggets and the Jazz. The Jazz did lose to Denver 135-125 in OT. Donovan Mitchell, third most points in playoff history, behind probably the greatest guy in the fucking world, Michael Jordan. Trade-in, this one's for you. What do you think? Denver, Utah, budding rivalry, snow, mountains, altitude, even though we're playing in Florida.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be an exciting one. I mean, you got Rudy Gobert against Jokic. Nikola Jokic is just gonna lead that. In my opinion, is just gonna lead that Nuggets team. And he I think everything kind of drives through him. And I would say that Gobert did provide some level of competition for Nikola Jokic, but he still dropped 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists in their 3 matchups. So I think that Rudy Gobert has to do even more to stop the onslaught that is Nikola Jokic. On the other hand, Rudy Gobert is again a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year, and he will be testing Jokic all the way through. Along with Donovan Mitchell being able to come out and drop some mad points. I think it's going to be a pretty good series. So in my opinion, I see the Nuggets in 6. At the end of the day, I think Jokic is gonna lead this team, and there we go.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think the Nuggets are one of those underrated title contenders that people aren't talking about a whole bunch. Gobert's going to have to fucking contain Jokic or they're screwed. Okay, last series in the West. Tyler, you're rocking your Lakers shirt. It's currently tied at 89 apiece with 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go. This is the first, Tyler, you're my boy. We've watched Laker games for literally 10 years together now. This is the first playoff game since 2013 when our boy Kobe was still a player, still around, hashtag RIP Kobe. Are you worried about this Blazers team because Dame Lillard won the MVP? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. He just hit a 3
He just
from
hit
the
a
logo
3.
again. He just hit a 3 from the
Basically
logo.
half court. That's great. I love that.
Jesus. Okay, talk about you're worried about Dame and the Lakers. Go for it.
Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, Damian Lillard is the best player in the NBA right now. He's playing on fire.
That's a huge dig.
Yeah, he is just, in terms of his grit, his clutch shooting, overall play, in my opinion, he's the best. He's the best player in the NBA at right now, playing the bubble right now. So yeah, as far as and the Trailblazers, for whatever reason, the last 10 years, probably ever, had the Lakers number for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. This season, the Lakers played pretty okay against the Trailblazers. But I'm pretty nervous about this series. Obviously, the Lakers are the number 1 seed. Their offense has been struggling since they returned. They look a little rusty overall. They just don't look like they're clicking together right now. So I'm a little concerned about their offense. However, the Trailblazers' defense is their biggest weakness. So I feel like if there's a team that they can get it together with, it will be this Trailblazers team. I think the Trailblazers are a great team. They're going to grind it out. I think this series is going to go to 7, but I think the Lakers will take it. I have faith in my boys. I have faith in my purple and gold. Like you said, the Lakers are down by 3 with 3 minutes left in game 1 right now. Hopefully they pull it out. I think it's going to be a crazy, great series. This Trailblazers team behind Damian Lillard is a dangerous team. So I'm nervous about it, but let's go Lakers in 7.
Okay. Yeah. I have the Lakers in 6. Between the trio of Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee, and Dwight Howard, I just don't think the bigs of the of the Blazers can deal. I don't know why the Clippers aren't why. Fuck Clippers. I don't think the bigs of the Blazers can deal with that trio. As we've seen in the past, Carmelo just hit another 3. Sorry. As we've seen in the past, playoff LeBron is a whole different ball game. There's a reason he went to 8 NBA finals in a row. Granted, that was in the East. The West is fucking nasty this year. We'll have to see what happens. I also, as a Lakers fan, am very worried about the Blazers. Dame is one of my favorite players in the game. He's probably the most similar to Kobe in the game now. Just the tenacity, the drive to win. He'll fucking push that team. So, yeah, I think I go 7. I just think the Lakers are too talented for the Blazers to deal with them overall. Switching to the East. Speaking of teams that are crazy talented, speaking of players that are possibly the best in the league, another MVP possibly coming. The Bucks lost to the Magic today, 122-110. In the regular season, the Bucks were the best defensive team in the league. They are only the 4th number 1 seed to lose by double digits. 2 out of those other 3 teams did lose the series. James, are you worried about the Bucks?
Not even a little bit. Game 1 was a
okay.
Initially, I had the Bucks straight up sweeping the Magic, but after this, it's impossible. So I have the Bucks in 5 now.
Man.
Yeah. What happened this game won't happen often. They had 2 key players have terrible games. Brook Lopez went 2 for 9, had 5 points and 4 rebounds in 30 minutes of play. And Chris Middleton, 4 for 12, 14 points and 6 rebounds in 31 minutes. Those 2 stat lines aren't going to happen often. They're too good of players for that to happen again. The only way that the Magic can even come close to winning another game against the Bucks is if Nikola Vucevic goes off every single game like he did this last game. He put up, 35 points and had 14 rebounds this game? Like, that's probably not going to happen again. Historically, Brook Lopez does a really good job defending him. When they played during the season, he held Vucevic to 43.8% shooting and 20% from 3. Additionally, it's when Brook Lopez is on the floor, the Bucks go from a negative 11.2 rating to a plus 8.9 rating. So he's probably one of the most important players on this team. And Tyler, I have to disagree with you. Giannis is the best player in the league right now.
Yeah,
Lakers are about to lose. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to focus. And okay, we got this. I do agree. Giannis is probably the best in the league. The Lakers are going to lose this game, so we'll move past that. So that's another number 1 seed losing in the first round, or the first game of the first round. That's interesting. So the other series I asked you to talk about, Celtics-Sixers. We've got 2 big injuries in this series. Ben Simmons is out for the season, probably with a knee injury, and Gordon Hayward is out for 4 weeks with a ankle sprain. The Celtics are up 1-0 in this series with a 109-101 victory. What do you got on this series?
I got Celtics are a deep, tough team. They haven't had a lot of spotlight this year. I got Celtics in 5. A lot of it mainly because of that unfortunate news of Ben Simmons. He is their best defender as well, and that's tough. He probably would have been guarding Kemba, who's, from what I've heard, one of the most agile NBA players in the league currently. Embiid is a solid player. That dude just gets lazy, man. Like, If you saw him yesterday, like there was points in the game, he's kind of just walking around. You look at other guys, like you look at Anthony Davis, those superstars, those guys are fucking running the floor the whole game. That's why they're down there getting those easy dunks, easy points. There's times where he gets lazy. He's a solid player. I love Tobias Harris on the Sixers. He's a guy that is going to try as hard as he can to get them to win. He'll get you 20 to 30 points. They just need more depth than just him, and Ben Simmons would have helped. Celtics just have their number like they have in these last few seasons. I think they played each other like the last 3 or 4 years in the playoffs, and they continue to beat them down, and they will again this year. Tatum, that guy is a superstar, up and coming, not even up and coming. He's already solid. You don't always hear about him, and he just gets the job done. Don't you Lakers fans wish they would have drafted him and not that bum Lonzo Ball? I mean, yeah, it's hard to
We
predict.
don't need to talk about that right now.
Yeah. It's hard to predict because it's a draft, but yeah, fuck, man. The Celtics' depth is rougher and tougher than 76ers. They got Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Oh, yeah, and like I said, one of the most currently agile players, Kemba Walker. Celtics in 5.
Yeah, I agree with you. Without Ben Simmons, he can literally guard everyone between a 1 through a 5. He's a 6'9" point guard. He's pretty much what Magic Johnson was, but Magic was a much better passer. Yeah, I just think the Celtics' depth is too much for them. I agree. I think it's going to be Celtics in 5. The Lakers did just lose by 7 to Portland, but I did just see a little thing pop up. LeBron is the first player in NBA history to score 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists in a playoff game. This is his 17th year in the NBA. You got to give some love to LeBron, but I don't want to focus too much on Lakers right now. The next series we got is Raptors-Nets, the 2 versus the 7. When we talked about the NBA a couple episodes ago, we were all worried about the Nets. Kyrie's out. KD hasn't played. DeAndre Jordan's out. Spencer Dinwiddie's out. They were down by 33 at one point. They brought it back to 9. They did lose this game by 24. So it is 1-0 Toronto. Traden, what do you got on this series? Canada, hockey, Raptors.
Yeah, this one's going to be pretty quick for me. I think you gave me the easiest one to analyze. I have Raptors at 4. I don't even think. I think the Nets are probably the most unhealthy bubble team of all of them. I mean, they're missing out their 2 leading scorers, not even including KD. And they've really done well to tread water in the bubble, but I think that this Raptors team and their defense is just going to, come in and finish it off. I mean, you look at how the Raptors do it. Yeah, they don't have Kawhi, but they're known for their defensive strength. Nick Nurse has those guys, playing strong defense, well coached. They do have some offensive talent in Pascal Siakam. Averages 22.9 points and 7.3 rebounds per game this year. He's kind of their number one option, and he's going to continue. He's going to be the one that I think that he needs to show that he can lead this team in an easier series and show that he's going to be able to do it against the Bucks. Because I have them playing the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Final. But then look who you also have. You have all NBA guard Kyle Lowry, solid player, gets points up. Freddie VanVleet, Norman Powell, Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka. They have depth on the bench. They get it done by committee. And I even saw that last year. When I watched them, I went up to Canada to watch to see some family, and we watched the Toronto beat the Warriors in the finals, and they get it done by committee. Yeah, Kawhi was a huge part of that, but everyone's chipping in. Everyone. One player will have a game. One player will have a game. That's just how they roll. And I see them playing the Bucks in the finals. So this is a sweep in my opinion.
You just love Toronto,
Yeah.
No, I hate fucking Toronto. I hate them.
Yeah, Toronto is one of those. I think everyone in the East is so focused on Milwaukee and Giannis. And just like Eric said just before, I think Boston and Toronto are 2 teams that have a very good chance of coming out of the East that people aren't giving enough love to. Very last one. This is a tough one, Tyler. Pacers, Heat. We got the 4-5. TJ Warren, one of the unheralded stars of the bubble so far. Jimmy Butler coming in with that tenacity with the Heat. The Heat are up 1-0, a 113-101 victory today. What do you got on this series, Ty?
Yeah, as far as the Pacers are concerned, like you mentioned, T.J. Warren came in shooting super hot, one of the best players in the league in the bubble. The Pacers overall had a 6-2 record in the bubble. Victor Oladipo for me is the kind of the X factor of this team. He's like their number one guy, but he almost opted out of the bubble because he was rehabbing from a quad injury. So if he can be healthy and effective, I think the Pacers will definitely give the Heat a run for their money. But in my opinion, I think the Heat just have way more depth than the Pacers do, and I think that's going to be the difference in the series. I think the Heat win this 1-6.
Yeah, for sure. Jimmy Butler had 28 today. Goran Dragic all of a sudden had 24. Bam Adebayo, possibly a sixth man of the year, kind of like an up-and-coming guy, had 17. He was an all-star this year. The Heat are nasty. I don't know if they can get through those top three teams we just talked about, but the Heat are a very interesting team to watch. I think if they get another star, they are a powerhouse in the making for the years to come. Real quick, I just want you guys to give me your picks for the finals and then who wins and how many games. James, you first.
I got Lakers, Bucks, Lakers in 7.
Okay. Eric.
I got Clippers, Celtics, Clippers in 7.
Trade.
I got Lakers, Bucks as well. Bucks in 7. Giannis gets his trophy.
Okay. Ty.
Lakers over Toronto in 6.
I had exactly the same thing. Lakers, Raptors, Lakers in 6. All right, guys, that was the NBA little recap there.
Thanks, Alex. That was great insight for the NBA, and just fucking sports world is flourishing right now, guys.